Welcome everybody to your Thursday lighting critique. It's different than normal. Mike's not here. Mike's away getting some teeth work done.
Having a lot of
Yes,
fun at the dentist.
Exactly.
it's always fun.
So Diana and I are acting as MC today, but we want to have a little spin on this and have this be student-led feedback where we're all kind of doing a round table, practicing our feedback, supporting each other, and putting the stuff we've learned here to the test. So we have an animation from Anabelle, and we have, which we're very excited to watch. We have some images from Kay, Daniel, Diana, and Kat. Kat's going last in the hopes that she'll be able to join towards the end of this recording. So we'll see how that goes. Anything else to add, Diana, before we jump in?
No, let's get right in there.
Let's do it. So we'll just go ahead and start playing through Anabelle's animated scene.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
It has no sound, but I hear it.
Yeah.
It's stuck in my head.
Yeah. This he's singing a song from Hamilton right now that you can't hear, but a lot of us have already seen a version of this, so it's cemented in our brains.
Yeah, it's like I think it's a song you can never get rid of. It just stays with you forever.
He just does it so well.
Yeah. So before I jump in, does anyone have anything off that they want to talk about, or does Anabelle want to give us a little context?
Yeah, well, actually, I did encounter a few problems because I'm very new to Nuke and all that. But I never tried to like render CG glass and put like an image behind it. So that was fun. I realized that no, you can't see through the glass because it's actually, it's a piece of geometry. So I was like, oh shoot. But what would be the best way to like, how do I say, like render it? Because like I did a matte pass on the windows to try to fix it, but it does like cut off a little bit on the door window frame. Like you can barely see it, but it's mostly where you see like the image like at the beginning, like right there. I'm like pointing on my screen, but you guys can't really see me, but
So
it's like close to the computer. It's like the rim of the door. It like gets cut off from the image. It's hard to see, but I see it, so it bugs me.
So you feel like there's like there's something that's not like something's preventing us from seeing through.
Yeah, it's like
So yeah, in compositing, yeah, because the alpha channel is white everywhere where there's geometry, and it can't tell that it's glass, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now I'm trying to like
that
put
makes
like the
sense.
city behind it, so it doesn't work because obviously it's like you can't see through the geometry. But I don't know if there's a way to go around that, so it looks like I don't know if I render the door out separately and I do something in compositing, if I don't know if that could work.
I think the simplest way you could do it is just to put a plane outside the window and put your image there with like in the emission, so that you have it in the render. I mean, it would be less flexible, but I think it would be easiest to get the right, render going until you figure it out.
I tried that a little bit, but I felt, well, maybe it's because my renders are low. I felt it didn't look as good, but like maybe when I try it out in a higher quality, it probably won't be an issue, I guess.
And it looks normal in your render inside of Maya.
Well, I didn't have like the image when I was doing it. Like I just had my HDRI
Gotcha.
image in the back.
Trying to comp the background in, but then glass. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've done that.
Yeah, like that's like something that I've never done before. So I was like convinced that it would render out like translucent, and then I was like, oh shoot, okay, no, that doesn't do that.
Yeah, like, I would render the thing without the glass doors, and then render the doors separately. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be pretty good. And then if it doesn't work, I could, like you said, I could always just put it in the render with it behind it. Yeah.
And then
I'll give that a shot.
And then if not, definitely go to the Nuke channel in Discord, because I bet like Callahan or Adrian will be able to give you an answer that is
The best
perfect for
thing
what you
is
need.
to like ask Callahan, what do you need if we need to do this? And then he'll be like, oh, I need a render like this and a render like this. And then ask Adrian how to render those out.
Yeah, he probably knows how, because like I'm sure somebody has tried this before to like put like something glass CG in front of like a comp or something. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he must know. I'll ask next time.
Cool. Yeah, definitely let us know how that develops.
Yeah.
Yeah, to start, I really love this last frame, the lighting in the last frame. I think he looks like just sinister enough.
It's really cool.
I'm glad that's what I was going for. I really like wanted the light to go like a little bit up, so he kind of looked like I can say a little bit like sinister, a little bit like an asshole. You can see like he's the villain of the story, you know?
Yeah. No, it's definitely effective.
Cool.
Yeah, one thing that was funny is like right before he goes into the sinister face, there's like a moment where he has these Disney eyes, like right there.
Yeah.
I know, right? My boyfriend walked in when he saw this shot. He was like, "Oh, are you watching like a Disney movie?" I was like, "Oh my god, you think it looks like a Disney movie?"
Seriously.
That's awesome.
He's like, "Wow."
Yeah.
That's great.
And then so now I'll pull up the reference as well, so you can see what Anabelle was using for reference. So something.
Yeah, I was using the spark, like those small spark shots from Pixar.
Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
The main things that stand out to me about especially the spark reference is the saturated colors, and then the contrast. Like there's a good bit of contrast in all of these images. And then when we jump back, yours has much less contrast.
Yeah, that's true.
It's different too. Anabelle, are you using any color management on this?
Nope. Well, I don't think so, because
I think that would help it out, and it's coming soon. Oh yeah, I don't know if you heard. I'm like, Mike and I are making a little document guide to color management, so that you can try it out.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's good because I have no idea how.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing to like grading, like color grading, like in Nuke, or or is it
No,
different?
it's different. It's more like in the settings.
Oh, okay. So like a little bit like the ice color settings, or is that different?
The ice?
Well, like, is that what it's called? You know, when you render in like a different color space?
Oh yeah. It's that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's that stuff. Okay, cool. Yeah, then I don't know.
Yeah. I think it will help it out definitely in the contrast.
Yeah, because I tried putting a little bit more contrast, but like it was making everything that was super bright, like too bright, like too white.
Yeah.
So yeah. And also I'm very new to Nuke, so I wasn't sure exactly how to like color grade it without like blowing everything out. So if anybody knows what's the best to use, then yeah.
Color management. It's coming.
Yeah.
Then I'll wait for that document for sure.
A nice plug. Yeah, I'm trying to think if anything else that's. I feel like here we start to lose some of that rim light that's here that kind of has him standing out from the background, and then once we're in this scene, it dissipates, and so be cool to see some of that come back, especially for this head dip in.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't sure if it would be like realistic since he's going like kind of behind the wall, or maybe I could just like leave like the rim light, but like less bright since he's going like further away. I guess maybe that would look better and would help him separate a little bit from the background too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could sneak it in without it looking weird.
Yeah, and like if we're looking at kind of where your source is coming from, or at least from what I can tell, like from the outside, it looks like the shadow's coming is coming from this side. So the light's going this way, shadow that way. So if he was...
Oh, but look at the floor.
Yeah,
That too.
that's
That's
in the wristband.
Yeah, so it also could be like a hair light coming from the fluorescent or something like to motivate the lighting once he
That's
comes
true.
in past. Anyone else? Anyone want to see a particular part or have any feedback?
I really like. There's the side where the window's blown out. I really like that green hue that you have. I don't know if it's from the glass or something, but I really like the feel of that room.
Yeah, I think I put like a little tint in the glass because that's what I looked up the reference for like offices and like that, and they always have like a little green tint. So yeah, I added
Nice.
that in.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like that side of the room very much.
Yeah.
And I really like the speck on the floor. It looks really good.
Yeah, that was like really a happy accident, but like I was like, oh, I'm gonna leave that in.
See, anything else standing out? I mean, it's great. Like you've done a great job.
Maybe the last frame. Would it be cool to have sort of a vignette around the character?
I actually do have one, but I put it like really subtle. But maybe I could like put a little bit more, maybe more into darker, like on the last frame.
Yeah.
I think it would be really cool. Just to zoom more on the character.
Yeah, that would be actually a really good idea. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, when I was gathering reference and thinking of brainstorming for this shot, I wanted to make it like all really dramatic. But since your like office is super realistic and the reference it's matching the Spark Shorts reference, so but like just in the last frame as he leans in, if it just becomes like a dramatic spotlight,
Yeah, like
and just the
that would be
characters
really
fade back. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would help it like really make him look more like a villain. It'll sell more the idea.
Yeah, the last shot was tricky because I really wanted to focus on him, but then the characters' faces in the back is just gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, the daggers
Yeah, I know,
going
right?
through.
At first I was like, oh, maybe I could put like blur in the back, but then at the same time I'm like, their face is just too priceless. I need to leave that in.
Yeah.
One thing I see different from the reference, the skin material is a lot less warm than you have like in the dinner party scene.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the saturation in general.
And it
is
actually
very-
makes a lot of sense because it's the middle of the day and it's in a boring office, so it really makes sense to me.
Yeah, because I was trying to like go for like a mix of both. Because there's in some reference in that little movie, it's like very bright and warm, and then when she's sad, it gets like kind of like less saturated. So I wanted to make it more like saturated in the back since he's like leaving, so it's like happy for them, but like he's still there in the office. So I still wanted to make it look like it's not super happy because he's leaving, but he's not gone yet. Like kind of vibe.
Yeah. And maybe there's
I don't know if I should add maybe a little bit more saturation. Maybe I don't know if it's still lacking a little bit.
I mean, you could even play with the idea of giving him a little bit more saturation than the other characters, or something that separates him. I realize I've gone blurry. See if that fixes
Yeah,
it.
that's actually a good idea. Yeah, I could take a look at that.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool.
So there's definitely ways to kind of play up the differences between the humdrum office and the people who are still stuck in that, and then his kind of more hopeful and dastardly approach.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was also wondering, do you guys think I should put some depth of field like in the office? Or would that be realistic?
in the back office.
You're talking about in this back room?
I think depth of field is always.
Yeah, I didn't do it this time because I forgot to render it, but but like I was wondering if that would be realistic, but like I think it would.
I think so. Yeah, definitely. But that's like you can do that anytime in comp. So
yeah.
Let me add to the question. How would you do depth of field since the scene is moving around?
Well, I would do it like in the render with the Z pass that I didn't do this time because I forgot to render it. But but yeah, I would put the Z pass and it would help like move along with the shot, and I would really just like blur out a little bit the office, but I would leave the rest like untouched. Yeah.
Cool, cool.
I
Yeah,
think I
you
would
could
do
just
like
render the Z separately and
I
use it.
can.
Yeah, AOVs are just layers, so just add that. Like maybe turn off all the lights, just render out a Z pass.
That's true. I didn't think of because I was like, since it like always renders a beauty pass, I'm like, I don't want to wait for like the long render, but it's true I could just like turn off all the lights and it won't like take as long to render. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, check out the diagnostics tab in the render settings. There's like ignore textures, ignore shaders, ignore lights. And then you can do that for anything that you don't need the render for, like cryptomats, Z, I don't know what else. Yeah.
That's actually faster than what I was gonna do. I was just gonna like turn off the lights in the light editor, but I think your way is so much better. Yeah, no, that's really good.
Yeah, you have to start like getting smart about it when you start doing sequences.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like it's so different from doing because this is really my first animated shot that I've ever done in my life. So I was like,
Wow, impressive.
why did I choose a sequence with 3 characters, a big environment, and I'm like,
And the camera moves. The camera moves too much.
that's too. And his eyes, like for the IDs, I had so much trouble because his eyes move like crazy, and I'm like, oh, they're always looking in a weird way. So it's like render out 2 different dings just for him because his eyes are going crazy. So like I have a ding for the beginning of the shot and one for the end. So yeah.
Nice. Well, great work.
Yeah, I think all that was
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah.
Just a few more details I think to keep in mind is like I don't think when she's on the phone, I don't think we could see the screen that clearly. I feel like there would be some glancing reflections. I don't really know how you have the shader set up there, or unless I guess if you looked at reference and then that makes sense too. But in my head, I feel like
Yeah, putting like a little like a spec pass, like just to see
like a coat or something to make it look like glass. I just think my eyes are traveling a little bit to the iPad and the phone.
Yeah.
I don't know if the iPad is
Keep in mind.
asking myself that question, but yeah. Maybe I should tone down a little bit also the brightness because he has like a white background with the apps and everything, but I feel like you just focus on that when you get there.
Yeah, and Diane, I think that's a good call. And I didn't even notice the iPad at first, but yeah, throwing like a rough
Maybe if you didn't notice,
No,
you don't need to change
no,
it.
I mean like it's not bad, but like if it's like if you wanted to take it further, you could throw that sheen on there and pull some reference of an iPad on a table and from afar.
Yeah, well, I think that's a really good call because I actually noticed it, but I was like, oh, is that just me being too picky or is it like really? But I think it really just drags too much attention because it's super bright. But like with the reflection and bringing the emission down, I think that would probably be much better. Yeah.
Follow your gut.
Yeah.
Hey all.
Hey,
Hello,
how's it going,
Kat.
Kat?
Hey, Kat.
Hey,
Oh.
actually, I just had a quick question on these animations because I haven't really opened any of the files yet. Are they coming with textures and materials,
No.
or are we putting them all in there?
Yeah, you have to. Well, most of them you have to put them all. You have to make them, or like. Well, sometimes they come with shaders, but like they're just very basic shaders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no textures.
Yep.
Well, it
So
looks amazing, so I just want to.
Thank you.
I just hopped in, but it looks really good.
Thanks a lot. So,
sweet.
does anybody else see anything that might be wrong with her or to needs some fixing?
No, I mean I think it's feeling great, and I think like you've got some good like notes to start working on, and you've done an incredible job. I just want to keep watching it and
very
have
strong.
the music over it too.
I know.
Yeah.
Next time, definitely put on.
Yeah, I am thinking if the light needs to be on in this frame, but that's maybe if you decide to change up make it more dramatic. Well, we can take a look after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You could like animate the lights down almost. It like or
Like it dims.
Oh yeah.
Whoa, that would
Yeah,
be
that
really
would be
cool.
cool.
Good idea.
Yeah.
As he approaches the desk, like dim the lights and have the
Yeah.
focus be right on him. That'd be really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really sick. Yeah, I think I'll give that a shot because that would be really easy. It's just like the mission.
Mhm.
Do that
Yeah.
in
100%. Very exciting.
Sweet. Well, can't wait to see the next one. Let's go on to Photoshop World. And I was going to just go in this order that I made.
Yeah.
So this is Kay's submission for this week. Anyone have any feedback or anything right off the bat?
First, what's the shiny thing on the right left? I mean, the shiny thing just before the red character.
I think it's some kind of knife or something.
Yeah, it's like
I think she's doing like a horror movie take on this.
Yeah. I do love the idea of these two Academy of Animated Art assets facing off against each other.
The cutest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really very intense shot.
Yeah. I'm liking it a lot. I think right now what's standing out to me is neither of them feel particularly grounded into the scene. Like if we look at the bunny back here, they look like they're on a flat plane. There's this contact shadow that's like a circle around their feet. That's kind of throwing me off. And then there is this like long one as well, but it feels like maybe there's a comp issue, and everything's just not blending together as intended.
Did she put them on the edge of a roof? Because that doesn't look like the road.
This is
Is the angle the camera's
It does
coming
look like
from
the road, but
yeah,
It needs to be a little bit brighter.
Yeah, it's just kind of the way the angle is and how it looks. It looks like the road's raised up and they're actually standing on a roof.
Yeah, I
I don't know
get
if that's
what you're
going
saying.
forward,
There,
that's kind of what it looks like.
there's this is the alley you've seen with those are the bricks on the ground.
Right, yeah.
But you're totally right. There's a perspective. It feels like there's also a perspective difference between the characters and the background.
But I feel if the background was a little bit brighter, I think we would be able to see more of the environment and like get a feeling of what the environment is exactly. So I feel it's like making it a little bit brighter, like not too much because we do want like that intense feel, but like just enough to notice like the surroundings a little bit. I think that would be
yeah, I think right now it is a little hard to, like, at first glance, understand what's going on. I think that's the biggest. You have to like kind of look and see what's going on. I think I would like to see this scene without the like 2D elements comped in. I think it's some rain and some like dramatic sparks. I think that could come. Well, I think I would like to see a version without it so that it's a little easier to see the lighting.
I was 100% thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and if it's rain, I think the environment would be a lot more wet. Right now, the floor doesn't look like it has any rain on it. The cobblestones look pretty, the roughness looks pretty high. I think you could tweak some of those settings and then get a lot more specular in the walls so that, like Anabelle said, we don't have to put a lot of fill light in it and raise the diffuse values. But if you had added a lot of specular, you could see the road and see some details without losing the dramaticness.
yeah, that's a good idea for sure.
Yeah,
And I think also helping. Oh, sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
I think she's going for kind of that uncomfortable angle look, which is good.
That's cool.
I think maybe we need to balance out the color on the forward character versus the backward character, because there's nothing really that would, like the color of the foreground character, like that light's way too bright for the rest of the scene.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
like the color, the color of the light, and just how bright it is. Like there's nothing around that would. So I think that's why it makes them look so disparate, because they just look like they're lit for two different scenes. If that makes any sense.
I think it's the integration problem we've been talking about. Is just the foreground character is just like engulfed in darkness, and we see a little bit of the ground, but not much else. And I think seeing a little bit more would be nice.
Yeah.
I think also like making the sword a little bit less bright, because my eye tends to go to that first, but I feel like that's not necessarily the main focus of the scene. I feel maybe the character should be brighter than the sword.
If this, sorry.
Yeah, and the and the sword too. It's like just one really intense highlight at the edge, without the rest of the sword being kind of lit the same way. So yeah, like was it Tristan who couldn't tell what it was? I think it's hard. It's just hard to see some of the things.
Yeah, and like maybe if this was like a scene where one of them was mugging the other, like it makes sense, like show the dangerous object in connection with like the other character. But in this particular one, it feels like a Freddy versus Jason kind of standoff. And it'd be great to kind of work on building that tension between the characters through the lighting. Yeah, so I think strip away the effects, let us see what the scene looks like without those. And by effects, I mean the rain and sparks and water droplets. And then, work on getting some of the lighting, practical lighting, to like affect the character lighting.
I would say too, maybe flip the weapon so you see more of the edge versus the handle, so then it's more clear as to what it is.
Yeah, that could be a good idea too.
Totally.
Because that way you can just play with like the glints of the light off the edge of the blade versus dealing with the whole hilt and handle of it.
Yeah, and it'll be easier to know exactly what it is. Like now we're like we know that it's like some kind of blade, but we're not sure exactly how it looks like the blade, like the exact form and everything. So I think it would be clearer maybe the other way around.
Yeah. Another thing, this is just from like working with this project file before, this black area on the building, I'm pretty sure is because the wrong texture is on the building.
Oh yeah, there was a problem with the UVs on that scene, right?
Yeah, so I think all you need to do is like rotate around a couple building albedos until you get to the correct one, and then that black bar should go away.
Yes, that's true.
I really like the background light doing the bunny, but I think you should switch the bunny and the character in the foreground. I haven't lit it, so I don't even I looked at it and I couldn't understand what it was. And a bunny, you see the shape of the ears, you can try switching them. And also, like we said, I think you can add a bit more, maybe zoom out a bit and light the right side of the screen a little bit, and then you might help connect it.
Yeah, it's true that the shape of the other asset, it's like some kind of sock knit kind of thing. So it is hard to like know exactly what it is just by the shape, and if you don't know like what it is to start with. But the bunny, like everybody knows what the shape of a bunny is, so that could be a good thing to try and see if you like it better.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great suggestion.
And from a strategic
that's a great idea.
Yeah, and from a strategic standpoint, bunnies have hands.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that guy has a hand.
Does he have a hand? I haven't
The
played
knitted
that.
monster.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does, but I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Well, no, he doesn't have a hand. He has a appendage.
Little thing.
Yeah.
Got a nub.
Little thing.
Aren't
And
there
knife
three
wielding
things
bunnies are
sticking
just
out of
scary.
him hands?
I think. Oh no.
No, I think those are just like gills or like the equivalent, just like these little nubs that come off, but they're like, I think they're hands that kind of drop down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Sweet. Well, I think that's a good bit to get you started, but excellent work.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Next up
Dani.
is Dani. Dani, do you want to talk us through any questions or explain anything?
Yeah, I was just wondering if I lit everything with a cool fill light, and I think it should. I think I lose focus from the warmth of the flames. That's my main issue.
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with that. I feel like it personally would be sell more the idea of like warmth in the fire if it was more warm light. I feel like maybe you could add like some coolness in the shadows, but I feel like for the fill light it should be warm. Well, that's my personal taste on it, but I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I agree. But also yesterday I was thinking, like, a lot of the times it's good to have a mix of warm tones and cool tones. But I realized yesterday that I have no problem with just warm or just cool. I love like mono, like
Yeah,
one
monochrome,
color.
I think.
Yeah, like monochromatic color palettes. I love them. So I am also in favor of the warm. But I do think the level of fill that you have and how much we can see is in a good place. I think we just want to add a little more variation on the bookshelves. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
true. At
think
least we see everything in the room and it doesn't look like too overlit. So I think the intensity of the light is really good. It's just maybe the color. But if you do want to add some coolness in your scene, I see you have like a window. You could always add like a cool like moonlight like shining in. You could also do that if you
It
want.
got hit on the desk a bit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true, eh? Well, I think it could also maybe go on the floor a little bit. You could always try that and see if you like it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and I agree. You had the firelight on the staircase to the left. Like it was much warmer. I think that was better.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What?
I think bookshelves should be more in shadow because kind of looking at the directions the light are coming from, I don't know how much of the cool light would reach the bookshelves.
Okay.
Because you've got light coming in from the window and from the stairs. And you could play those up a bit more and leave the back wall a bit more in shadows. Cause I saw that you guys were kind of pulling up the reference. By the way, I like how you took care of the ceiling issue.
Like Sylvan, I think said it's just higher up, so
exactly. But if you pull, I think the reference didn't it have like some curtains or something on that in the back? Yeah, see, in the background here, you don't get a lot of. You get basically warm reflections on the shelves. You don't get a lot of cool.
Yeah, it's true. It's like patches of like light instead of just like everywhere lit.
Yeah.
So your backdrop would be more in shadow versus what you have it right now. Because right now it looks like there's just a cool light coming into the room and overwhelming the candlelight. And in this one, the candlelight is basically the main source of the light in the room.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good question, Dani.
That's what I would tell you.
Is are you still wanting? Is your main goal with this project recreating the reference?
Yeah, and we were talking. I think it was yesterday to try and add in some cooler tones, but I am trying to match the reference.
Oh, okay, yeah. If you want to match the reference, then in that case, it's maybe best to go exactly for the warmer tones then. And I see there's a little bit like around the window, but not like a lot of cool tones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would look really good.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, if that's your main goal, like you want to show a side by side, like when you're finished for your reel, definitely go this way, and maybe really just play with that volumetric, like light here being blue, and it really doesn't have too much effect except for, right in front of the desk, and then the candlelight takes over, like Kat's saying.
Yeah, kind of basically the only light other than the candles that hits the reference that is a big spot is the light coming in from the stairs. The window light in the reference doesn't really do much. So you could play up the stairs, lower down your window light, and then just put your back walls in shadow, and you'd be fine.
Yeah, and I would suggest in this one, you're starting to get some shaping on this bookshelf here, and starting to get some here as well. But then these here and here are very like flat and don't have too much contrast. Whereas in your reference, like there are these tiny little pools of shadow throughout that like give it some nice like nice dynamic contrasty look in the background, even though it's a similar setup to yours as far as like, you know, bookshelves that have kind of a wraparound in the back. So I'd play with like these pools of light and shadow to get closer to this. And then the other thing is, I mean, I can see it's starting to get brighter in here, but
Yeah, I feel that it would be more true to the reference with just like little pools of light here and there and shadow. And it would, like you say, it would make more contrast. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
And then it looks like there's some contact shadow issues here that I'm noticing where the table kind of looks like it's a 2D sticker right now. The couch is looking nice. Like maybe it needs to be lowered a little bit on that side, but this stood out to me as the legs look like maybe they're sunk into the carpet, and then the table just looks like it's hovering on top.
Yeah, I feel it's missing a little bit of shaping. Yeah.
On which part missing shaping?
On the table, because we don't see like the legs that much. So I feel like if you put a little bit more shaping, there'll be more shadow on the bottom, and then we'll see more of the contact.
Okay. What do you guys think of the angle of the shot?
I think it's a little high.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
Yeah,
I feel like, yeah, the reference, it feels like you're sitting in the room, and it feels like you're just like relaxing, sitting in the room looking at this beautiful view. But it does look like, I don't know, I'm a little higher than standing maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I feel it should be more like a eye view to like a person sitting in the room, because the other one feels more like a camera on the wall, like looking like more taller up, you know? Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like this one would look better if it was a little bit like lowered to our eye view.
Cool. That's what I was thinking.
Trust your gut. I say it all the time.
Yeah, especially because.
Can you go back to his Forrest really quick?
For sure.
The other thing is the chair on screen, right?
At the desk or at the table?
The one that's at the table.
Okay.
If you look at the reference, it has a lot more warm kind of bounce light reflections in it, so it stands out more.
Yeah,
you can kind of see more of the specular on that. Same with the table. But with yours, it doesn't as much, and it kind of makes the chair almost kind of sink into the background. Like I was looking down at the shadows, going, "Where is this shadow coming from?" I'm like, "Oh, there's a chair there." So you might want to work on that a little bit too. Just try to get some the warm reflections off the chair and the table.
Yeah, you could lower.
I think just spec overall.
Yeah, lower the spec roughness. Make it less rough.
Yeah, so that way the fire, like the light from the fire is going a little bit everywhere, because I feel it's like very centered into that spot, but in your reference, it's like you feel like it's glowing like out into the room, you know?
You could even maybe lighten up the color on that chair, the one by the table, so it doesn't blend so much with the furniture that's right behind it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think add spec first.
That or specking, either way, but yeah, just to make sure it doesn't blend too much with the furniture in the back.
Cool, will do.
Sweet. All right, let's move on. If you hear clicking and clacking, my dog barged into the room, looking for food.
Oh.
So let's move on to Diana.
Yes.
So Diana, you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Well, with the animated shots, I usually like to keep all the colors that's in the play blast kind of. So I'm trying to do that with this as well, in terms of colors. And then I think my main reference is the Bonnie one from the bottom one. Yeah. I just want to get some of that nice variation in the skin, which is, not quite there yet, but getting there. So yeah, any feedback would be great. Yeah, I guess mainly, do the clothes look like clothes?
Well, I really like the textures on the jeans. I feel it It feels really like a nice jean, and you can see like there's like spots on it, so it kind of looked like she went playing outside or like their old jeans or something like that, you know.
Mhm.
But no, I really like it so far. I
Yeah.
feel maybe the hair is a bit shiny. It kind of feels like plastic.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
forgot to mention the hair is the only thing I haven't touched.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Getting there.
Okay.
But thank you.
You're welcome.
I think the overall on the shirt they have a very good feel to them, and they look worn. The shoes, they look very shiny and very new. I think you can lower a bit the spec to match between them.
That's true.
Yeah.
It would definitely fit more with the pants, so yeah, for sure.
Anyone
I really
else?
like her eyes too, that's so far. Really nice blue eyes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, always. I feel like the eyes are a little, because the T pose is always very straight face, so the eyes look a little crazy every time I do it. But when they start acting, it gets a little cuter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same feeling with mine too, but then I realized it's just because they're really wide open and they're just like staring like straight forward. But like, yeah, when they're animated, I think it's probably going to be more cute.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking,
I
thinking
feel the
about
character
this.
already looks like the one in that's Toy Story, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, Toy
Yeah.
Story 4.
I feel like it had like a similar face too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute little lips.
The huge eyes, round face. That's they
The big
kids
cheeks.
in
Yeah.
animation.
Well, so far, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have to say about it. I think it looks really nice. They're off to a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'll keep you guys posted.
Maybe the one thing I'm noticing about the jeans
Mhm.
and comparing it to the reference is just how the hemlines look on jeans.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's
Um,
true. They're like a little bit brighter.
Yeah, and there's like that sewed texture,
Stitching.
and they look like they're like a bit thicker than the rest. And so I think that around some of this, like especially like the pockets
Yeah.
and
There
zipper
is some, like a little bit, I think, on the top, like around the edge of the top part of the overall,
Mm.
and then the like pocket. But then definitely, I don't have it going down the side, outside of the pants and the pockets. So I'll add it there.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that would look really nice. Yeah, for sure.
And then
Yeah.
I like the skin a lot, and I think maybe it's just the render, but maybe like some more variation in like skin color throughout. Like it feels pretty uniform
Yeah.
to me right now, whereas like she has like
Yeah.
rosy cheeks. It's a bit warmer here in the brow. It's warmer like here. That might be because of the light bouncing off of the table or the shirt, but
Yeah, Bonnie definitely has so much variation in her skin.
Yeah.
It's hard to if I could do that.
Yeah.
I
But
think if
definitely.
you like, it's really close though. I think if you add like a little bit more rosiness in the cheeks, maybe.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if it's just me on my computer, but it looks like she has freckles like on in the reference.
Yeah, in the reference, and it's very, it's
yeah.
kind of weak in the paint. Maybe
Yeah.
more pronounced.
Yeah, you could always add. Well, I don't know if you already have some because freckles are always hard to see. Like,
Yeah.
but you could maybe try like making them a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
see
I
if
can
you
see a
like
faint
it.
hint here
Yeah,
of a freckle or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
like especially like close to the nose. I feel sometimes you
Mhm.
see them more.
Yeah, freckles really make little kids cute.
Yeah.
And then I might also watch some of the subsurface. Like
Mhm.
her
Do you think
fingers
it's too much?
here are looking pretty red, but that also could just be the noise. But
No, I think there is some subsurface to include the fingers. Do you think it's a little too much for the fingers?
I would suggest playing around with it at the very least. Like especially like here, it looks like it's shining through multiple fingers and then coming out of the finger closest to us. And so maybe there's a way to like just bring down the the subsurface in her fingers.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
But yeah, this is awesome. Nice work.
Thank you guys.
Alrighty, so the last one is Kat. Kat, do you want to?
Is she listening?
Yep, she's
Are you
here.
available? Yay.
I got rid of all my double shadows. Yay!
Nice,
Yay!
nice work.
I'd added some more light to the torso area, so it wasn't so dark. Added some geometry behind her in the reflection. So that's actually what that is. I had to like turn the camera around and try to figure out exactly what's reflecting behind her, and that's actually another dark window. So it's two dark windows reflecting back and forth. So then I couldn't. I tried to put geometry within the window, but it didn't shine through because that window is actually not transparent. So then I just put up some geometry in the back. So there's a little, like, you can barely see it, but there's a chair, and then I added the pole to just kind of break up the shadow part. Then what else did I do? I took the noise texture off the bump. Actually, no, I didn't. I put it back on, but I really upped the details, so it was smaller. So I think it got rid of the stretching. And then decreased the light a little bit on the pole and put some more speck on her face, and I think that was it. Yeah.
I feel like a little bit of fill light in the shadows just to keep. Well, I don't know if it's just my computer that it looks dark, but I feel like with a little bit of fill light, like from bounce light coming from the ground or something in her surroundings, could like really could look good.
Yeah, I think there was none last time, and then she added a little bit this time. Maybe push it a little.
Okay, I can light on it. I didn't want it to go too much because you know the way she's hitting the shadow, that would be all shadow. I can pop it up because before it was completely black on that torso, so all you saw was the rim light. So I pumped it up a little bit, but I can put some more in there.
Yeah, I would try testing it out, putting maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, and I think like it's not about necessarily removing shadow. It's more raising what the shadow value is.
Yeah.
So like, especially in like here in this corner, it's tough to discern what is her hair and what is the like reflection behind her. And so like adding a bit more backlight, or brightness back into the shadows will help create some contrast between her hair and the background.
Yeah, does the rim on the torso, is it just on the torso? Does it include the hair at all? I think a little bit of light peeking through the hair from behind her.
Yeah.
I originally had it as an area light, and then I switched it to a spotlight, so then I could, because it was putting too much like subsurfacey stuff on the pole.
But yeah, you're Diana, you're talking about this right here. Yeah, that was
extended.
Yeah, if that was extended, that would be great.
I feel it would look nice if we would see some of that like behind her head also with her hair. I feel that would help her separate from the background a lot. It would look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
This came a long way.
Yeah.
I think it's in a really good place right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
I think one small thing is
I think I had more rim on her hair, and then when I switched it out to the spotlight, I got rid of it because it became smaller. So I got rid of some of it.
What were you gonna say, Dani?
I think one small thing, you can soften the shadow underneath her head, between the neck and the neck. Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
I
pretty
think you
sharp.
can soften that a little bit. But I really like the speck levels, especially on her arms. They look great.
Yeah. It really does look like skin. Like it looks really nice.
Like beautiful skin. This is not no ordinary skin.
Yeah, beautiful, healthy skin.
Well, she's supposedly a Paris model according to the file name, so.
Yeah.
All right. Doing her justice.
The only other thing I'm noticing is right here. There's like there's a bit of blue. Like kind of like at
The spec light is actually, I made the spec light, I turn off the diffuse and the spec light color is blue because we were going for cooler shadows. So I don't know if I cranked up the spec light a little bit to pop it more. So
are you you've moved away from the reference, right? You're not trying to match it.
well, it's kind of moved on its own. So
yeah, I think it moved on its own, so you could play with that.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, just right now, this is feeling like a splotch to me, and not like if that was more on like now that kind of everything's got this kind of warmer look to it, and there's only this one kind of little spot of blue. I think it could benefit from going warmer like the rest.
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so I can do that, and then I can probably actually use. I'll figure out how to soften the shadows. There's actually 2 lights that are making the shadow on her neck, so I actually played with that because they were causing double shadows. So I lined them up, so they were causing single shadows. So that's why it's a little heavy because I've got 2 different angles coming on her, but I can mess with that a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice work. It's been cool to watch this one grow and change.
Yeah. Looks really nice.
I like it.
Sweet. Well, I think that's it. I'll just double check, make sure we didn't get any last minute ones.
Yeah.
Nope, that's it.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that is the end.
It's a perfect length too.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining, and yeah, I think Mike should be back tomorrow, and I'm glad we're able to all kind of come together as a community and chat about lighting like this.